Welcome, everyone. This is Film Threat on a Friday. Yes, it's the Film Threat Friday livecast. Today on the show, we're going to be talking about The Beekeeper, plus Mean Girls, plus a movie, a little science fiction indie thriller called T.I.M. It stands for Tim. Plus your chat comments, questions, concerns. And Alan is rebooting his computer as we speak. That's right. He's not here, but he's on the way. Or so he says. Or so he messaged me just recently. So let's kick things off. Let's get things started. Alan will join when he joins. So let's go. Let's get the show on the road. Okay. In the wake of Alan not being here and having computer problems, we're going to do something fun. First of all, I want to say hi to a bunch of people. I want to say hi to Alan Horkin, says excited or possibly just over caffeinated. Thank Film Threat. It's Friday. That sounds great. I appreciate that, Alan Horkin. I am pre-coffee as we speak, and I'm in my house is freezing at the moment. So I'm wearing a jacket indoors. It's that cold. The Nerd Far Away says, okay, I thought Mean Girls was a sequel, to which I screamed, no. Then I found out Faye just rewrote it. Why? That is the most appropriate opening screen today at Film Threat. Yes, we're going to talk about Mean Girls. Alan, from what I understand, seemed to love it. I only know this because I sat next to him during the movie. Alan Horkin goes on to say, at least when Film Threat is late, they don't waste another 5-10 minutes of pre-roll video before they eventually start the show. We try to start the show right away. Eric Stratton, I need to thank you because I received a gift from you in the mail. I received a gift from you. I'm so excited. Here, can I show it? Should I show it? This amazing, it's a piece of the moon. Not kidding. He sent an amazing letter to me, and I thought it was fantastic. And then also, I got another letter and package from Radio Man, who sent me a Pander Stone. It's right behind me. Do you see the Pander Stone right there? That's the Pander Stone. I don't have it lit up, but I will light up the Pander Stone at some point. So thank you, Radio Man. Thank you, Eric Stratton. Getting blizzard here in Michigan. I love it. I love it. I miss inclement weather. Spaceman says, hail, Chris. Friday, baby. That's right. And from Rumble, Ololi Kuaroa resists urge to repeatedly shout Alan, Alan. Well, if Alan was here, I would say it. BMO Better sub supporter, also from Rumble, is now a monthly supporter. Well, thank you for that. That's great. Let's get right into it. Let's get into it. Oh, wow. Someone decided to show up. Who is, wait, hang on.
Prepare her for our pleasure.
Yeah, right. I was supposed to save that one for Valentine's Day, but I thought I would just, why not? Alan!
Man, you're really extending out this I'm late gag. This is, 6 minutes in?
Alan is still late. I don't know what the deal is. I wish Alan were not late, but dude, just... It's all good, man.
No, I had to reboot the computer because it was running like a slog.
It happens. Okay, we both saw movies last night. I can't wait to talk about the movies. We've got on the show, we have we're talking a bunch of movie reviews. We've got some news items at the top. At the end of the show, we have an interview. I'm very excited with the founder of Shorts.tv, Carter Pilcher. So if you're a short filmmaker, you're a filmmaker that's aspiring to make a short, we're talking
Or
to
under
Carter.
5 feet tall.
What's that?
Or under 5 feet tall.
Yes, if you are an under 5 foot tall filmmaker and you're a short filmmaker, then join us for this interview with Carter. Before we get to that, Alan, breaking news. I have to go. Well, first of all, I have to see if this. Oh, okay. It did go live. We're doing this. All right. Okay.
You mean it went live like you asked me to put it live?
Let me act surprised. Oh,
Okay.
I can't believe this surprise
yes.
thing that we
Yes.
talked about
There's a
happened.
surprise for you at filmthread.com on the front page there.
Well, here's what's happening. Let's jump right in. We have a writer from the Writers Guild who reached out to us, sent us some screenshots of a form that you're supposed to fill out in order to basically take a deep dive into your identity as a writer, because that's the most important thing about you, apparently, at least according to the Writers Guild these days. This writer reached out to us, sent the screenshots. I then, you know, we talked about these screenshots. We showed them. We'll look at them again. But it's a very, to me, in terms of invasiveness, I think it's an invasion of privacy to ask all these questions about your sexual identity, gender identity, ethnic background. It's a little much. It's a little much. And what's happened over the last 4 years, according to this source and according to other people, because after we did this video last week, a lot of people, not just from the Writers Guild, other Writers Guild members, but other people from other guilds reached out and said, this is happening across the board throughout the industry. And people are afraid to speak up. But one brave writer has now spoken up. And here it is, front page of Film Threat, a veteran screenwriter's plot twist on Hollywood's DEI cultural shift. This is an open letter from a white writer through the film and TV business for the last 20 years. And great graphic there, Alan.
Yes.
I really like.
Thanks, Adobe Firefly.
Was that Adobe Firefly?
Yeah.
Okay, it looks cool. I like it. I like where we're going with this. All right, so this is like an image from the writer's room. Let's go to the story. It's on the front page of Film Threat. We'll also put a link in the description to this story for this episode. But I'm gonna read the first paragraph. For the last 20 years, I've been a working professional screenwriter. Between 2004 and 2018, I was sent on hundreds of meetings with some of the best studio executives, producers, and directors in the business. I loved it. It was an opportunity to chat with like-minded people who love film, grew up with movies, and were making them at the highest level. We discuss ideas, plot, characters, and their arcs, and who's the audience. Maybe chat about subtext and themes. It felt like an episode of Jon Favreau's Dinner for Five. Sometimes you would end up getting work. Other times you'd made a great connection. Everyone was intelligent, film and TV savvy, and had a deep understanding of the business side of the industry. Suddenly, subtext and themes became the main point of discussing a project or IP. First question in every meeting became, what can we say with this project? Or what can we teach people with this story? Plot, character, and audience were now secondary and sometimes not even discussed. These new executives weren't savvy and business-minded execs. They were young, with no track record or comprehension of the bottom line. When the streaming wars started and the money hose was turned on, those experienced executives started relying on these young guns to pick up the slack. But the kids were less focused on the hero's journey and more concerned with taking down the patriarchy. Which leads us to the next point. The reality is that for the past 5 years, white straight male writers and directors with experience and successful track records have been sidelined. We talk about it over coffee or after screenings. We've essentially been told that because of our race and gender, We need not apply. At one point, my agent told me that they couldn't put me up for any OWAs, that stands for open writing assignments, or TV staffing jobs because the execs only wanted to hear takes on the material from BIPOC or female or LGBTQ writers. Some shows even started instituting staffing quotas that 40 to 50% of the writing staff had to be people of color. Moving on. I know many showrunners who hate this, not because they didn't want to hire new writers and foster them. They didn't want half of the staff coming from a pool of young, inexperienced writers who knew nothing about working in a writer's room, production, post, or deadlines. Is this legal? Probably. But hey, I'm not an attorney. And there's no way to find out anyway, because if you ask any questions about this, you'll be labeled racist or called out for your white male privilege. If you so much as raise an eyebrow, there's a risk you'll never work again, which is why this story is anonymous. This may not be obvious at first glance. There sure seem to be a lot of white dudes at the Golden Globes, right? Well, this doesn't impact the top 2% of writers, showrunners, and directors, since they're in the rarefied air where they get to work no matter what. It's those of us with decades of experience working on some of your favorite TV shows and films that are now sitting on the sidelines waiting. No institution reinforces this more than the WGA. One glance at their monthly calendar of events shows a Latinx Writers Committee meeting, an LGBTQ Writers Committee meeting, a Committee of Black Writers meeting, a Middle Eastern Writers Committee meeting, a Women's Writers Committee meeting, and an Asian American Writers Committee meeting, to name just a few. I think the last one you're probably okay with the now.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Yeah.
Okay, good. Can you imagine if there was a white writers committee meeting? We might be murdered. And the saddest part of all of this is that most of the people who would fill that room are some of the most liberal people I know. People who have gone out of their way to foster new and unique voices. Check out the WGA's own 2022 Inclusion and Equity Report and make your own conclusion on the WGA's priorities on this. When creating a writer's profile on the WGA website, there is one box to check if you're heterosexual, 3 choices under transgender, and 6 under LGBTQ. Not sure what those statistics have to do with writing a great episode of The Witcher. This mindset was very present at the last in-house WGA meeting held before the strike of 2023. Every 3 years before we have a new deal with the studios, the negotiating committees sit on a stage and members throw their complaints at them. And God bless them, they sit there for hours on end listening to a bunch of writers bitch and moan like I'm doing. The complaints at these meetings over the last 2 decades are always the same. How do we get more money and more residuals? In 2023, the meeting had a decidedly different tone. Very few complaints had to do with money this time around. There was a litany of complaints about not enough diversity in the ranks, young writers asking, how come I've worked for 2 years as a TV writer and I'm not a showrunner yet? A position that should take at least a decade of experience, if not 2, to reach. How do we make sure that the guild will fight for staffing requirements? I always thought that to survive in this business, it's a yearly, monthly, daily hustle. There are no guarantees, especially when it comes to staffing on a TV show. Moving on. What I took away from that night is that these young Turks think that working in film and TV is just a fun thing that anyone can do, and they can use this opportunity to put their stamp on the world. Can you blame them? It was easy to get here, especially when talent takes a back seat to filling a quota. Why worry? The showrunner and their number one, the most experienced writer-producer outside the showrunner, will pick up the slack and more than likely finish your insipid work. They can't complain about that episode you turned in late or didn't turn in at all, or they'll be called racist or a bigot or something else. And when they get a call from HR, it's just easier to shut up and run for cover from these kids who aren't ready for the big time. The blame for this mess is threefold. Young creative executives with no understanding of the business or what audiences want gained too much influence during the streaming wars. They also took it upon themselves to lead the charge in reinterpreting IP, changing successful comic books, novels, and remakes into projects that had something to say, not to entertain. Why even bother with IP if you don't respect the source material? The WGA followed their lead and threw a huge part of their membership under the bus in a race to bring in new members. And lastly, this new class of writers who weren't ready yet to step up to the plate worked on a lot of product that the general public didn't want to see and didn't relate to. There's a screenshot here of some of the boxes that must be checked. Last section here. What happens next is anyone's guess. TV is contracting. There were 600 TV shows in the last year, and now there are only going to be, from what I hear, 300. When it comes to film, there are even fewer jobs than ever. If we don't get back to telling great stories and making profitable shows and movies with AI right around the corner, the business may never recover. So let's start having those old school meetings again. The ones where you talk about story and characters and what the audience wants. And let's go back to hiring the best writers, the ones with the skill set and creativity, and not just the one with the right skin color or sexual preference. And then it says, if you're a WGA member who would like to share your story on or off the record, contact us. That's should have been in italics. I think I told you that note last night, Alan.
Okay. Sorry.
Could you make
not
that
all caps? You didn't want it in all caps?
Oh, I want it definitely in all caps.
Just in
not in all caps. Just all right. What do you think, Alan? You edited.
You decided to stop the momentum of the flow.
I'm stopping that. We got to put it in italics so it's clear that it's not him writing it. All right. Alan, what are your thoughts on this?
Italics is pretty. I'll agree. Okay, so not to keep promoting the D files, which will come out next week. In the next D files, we'll show how this started.
Right.
And but here, yeah, it's out and out racism. And not only that, it's I forget the term, but it's the racism of low expectations. What's becoming very clear is that it's not what should have happened is that all the experienced white writers should have been mentoring up and coming, emerging, talented people of color, LGBT, women, and down the line.
Right.
But the forces out there, especially during certain events during the pandemic, felt like that it wasn't moving fast enough. And what it seems like now is they're basically just moving out all the white men and bringing in all the POCs, regardless of talent. And we're experiencing that because the reality is there are people of color, there are LGBT writers, there are women who are qualified to be excellent writers. But they seem to not be going after those either, Mm-hmm. And this, you can call us racist and everything like that, but the proof is in the pudding. Look at what we're getting now, right. and Echo is just the latest example of it. It reeks of inexperience. It just right. reeks of people who don't know how to tell a story and who are more concerned about and the writer here mentions it. It's not how can we entertain people, but it's what can we say or how can we teach people? And that's right. what woke means. It means that we don't care about you. We don't care about you being entertained. All we care about is that you feel guilty and that we're going to tell you why you're a bad person. To me, that's the definition of woke in Hollywood at the moment.
Right. I have been hearing this for a long time. It surprises me. It's laid out in kind of a simple way. Inevitably, we're probably going to be called names. People are going to make accusations based on this story, but sure. This all happened too quickly, and really, it has to do with less experienced people working in the industry who feel entitled now. And when you're working with people who feel entitled, it's hard to mentor someone who just got the job so easily. It
mentions there, people complaining that in 2 years they hadn't become a show writer.
Right. Oh, there are worse things that I've heard, worse stories. Yeah. Those are just some of the examples. We're going to get some more when people reach out to us, but this is concerning, but not surprising.
Yeah, I'll restate it. They can call us racist, they can call us misogynists, homophobes, whatever. But the proof is in the pudding. The Marvels, Wish, I'll put sorry, Echo. I think Disney is the greatest example of this in action and why it fails.
Right. Well, let's go to your chat comments and questions here. We're going to start with super chats. Thing Book for 2. You gonna review Book of Clarence or are you racist? Oh my God, we're totally reviewing it. I saw it. Did you see it, Alan?
Yes, I did.
Hello, computer for 10.
About it this morning too.
Hello, computer for 10. DEI could work if you implemented it with talented folks. I think of the Coens and how they seamlessly flow it into the story. Or Tommy in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? There you go. Jason D says, imagine a professional football team hiring a little league coach to run the team. It's ridiculous. How is hiring unqualified writers any different? Pilgrim Media.
Football needs more Asians.
There are some Asian football players.
There are some, yeah.
True.
Tokens.
Pilgrim Media for 2 says, did you see the millennial recorded her layoff? Oh, which one? Seems like they're all doing that. Isn't that right? That's kind of a thing. Like, I'm going to document my life. John Thomas for 2. Chris, what is the deal on the voice actors and AI? I don't know.
But apparently they got screwed.
They got screwed. So there you go. Alan said it. Axel's Abode for £2. Statham wasted career potential. All films rated under 7. I'm going to try and read as much of these, but today we have so much to do. Yeah. I'm going to ask that we star fewer comments. This is a request from me.
Yeah, less. You don't have to read them all. Just
I know, but it's easier if you do the work for me.
Okay.
Kind of help me. Right, Alan?
Yes.
All right. If some of them are repetitive,
I'm just saying you're not compelled to read it because it's starred.
Well, Yellow Flash 2 says, lol, wow. Yeah, Yellow Flash, you should do a video on this story. There's more to come. And look at those screenshots. The screenshots are from they're from a survey that Writers Guild members are required to fill out. And now that is leaked into all of the guilds. If you are a member of a guild that makes film and TV, you must fill out a form that basically, now they say it's voluntary, but they keep sending you the form saying, why didn't you fill out the form?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, thanks, Yellow Flash. Always like to see you. Thing Book has been a member for 1 month, says Otani for Dodgers got big money. There you go. Alan Horkin says, I find it hilarious that the very phrase woke has been culturally misappropriated from Black activists and redefined to mean almost the opposite. 100%. Dante, we had a whole conversation about how that's not what woke meant originally. We were hanging out last night. Dante and I went to see movies. The Introspect M says the issue is all these ideologues believe that white people were just handed every position throughout time. They completely ignore the fact that it takes hard work over a long time to earn those places. Prez of USSA says DEI in Hollywood results in horrible stories. DEI in industries such as engineering and transportation result in dead people. Yeah, there's a huge initiative at, I believe it's Delta, to have 50% of their pilots be non-white.
Oh, and women.
Yeah, non-white and women, because that, yeah. Not going to say anything about, I'm not going to say anything. Not going to say anything. You can just, yeah. From Rumble, Olokla. I can't remember. I can't pronounce his name.
Oh, lowly who? Okay, yeah. We need the pronunciation.
Yeah.
Ololi something.
Yes.
Aloli Ukwi. Aloli Ukwi.
The WGA is poised to become the next Romance Writers of America, a cautionary tale defined by increasingly fervent and insane accusations of heresy, purity, spiraling into a black hole of schism. So there you go. Brock Samsonite. The more checkboxes you check off, the better your chances of being chosen. It's the oppression Olympics. 100%. 100%. Toasted Foolery for 71 says, yay, racism. Why don't they just shut up? No white men allowed. It's less words. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Glad people are finally speaking out, says Triple Threat 305. Well, we'll see. We will see. Robot Dues, who's a member, says DEI and affirmative action is racism. I've always thought that. I always thought, like, how is this still? I remember when I was a kid and there were all these like affirmative action and whatever. And I'm in college working 3 freaking jobs. I had when I was 19, I had newspaper routes. I had 120 customers on 3 newspaper routes. I deliver the papers every day but Sunday. Our paper didn't have a Sunday edition. I worked at a restaurant washing dishes on weekends. And then during the week, I worked at a video store so I could pay for my college. And then some other people didn't pay for their college.
Yeah. In college, I debated against affirmative action and was told I was racist by my white opponents.
Well, Alan, get used to it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What do you think? Check out the story on Film Threat. Please share it. And if you're another YouTuber, please, I don't know, do a video or something.
And make a video.
Do a video. Why not? All right,
And
we're going to move on. We're going to move on to something fun. I want to talk about something fun before we talk about movies. I want to talk about Zack Snyder's Star Wars. This is real, okay? This is real. Auralnauts, if you're not familiar with Auralnauts does these, I mean, they're very cleverly edited videos, and they're the ones that did the kind of funny Ahsoka, if it were an 80s action TV show. They have now released Zack Snyder's Star Wars. We're going to watch some of it, not all of it, because it's 10 minutes, 11 minutes. We're going to share the link in the description, but I want to watch because I want to see Alan's reaction to this.
Okay.
Because it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. All right, where is it? Here it is. Okay. I found it. All right, I'm going to put on my headphones here and mute me, Alan, if there's an issue here. I'm going to pause it every once in a while, but I just think this is, well, let's just watch it. Okay, let's just watch it. Are you ready? Zack Snyder's Star Wars Part 1, A New Hope.
A long time ago, in a galaxy far.
Let me show you how we do stuff.
Oh, wow. God dang it.
Oh, Zach, you're
Sorry.
awesome.
Far away. There was a great war amongst the stars. In time, it became known as the Star Wars.
Slowing it down when something happens. It's, oh my God, Darth Vader's walking in really slow. Cutting to a close-up of his feet, walking really slow. Oh my God. Oh. Look at his feet. Now the stormtroopers are walking really slow. Oh my God, ridiculous. Part 1, A New Hope.
Oh dear, R2. That was a harrowingly close escape. Once again, we find ourselves narrowly evading the clutches of the Empire, that vast and oppressive regime that seeks to control the galaxy. Their forces, under the command of Darth Vader, a former Jedi turned ruthless Sith Lord, is a direct servant of the Emperor, the very embodiment of darkness and power. But we must press on, for the fate of the galaxy depends on the rebellion's success.
This is Zack Snyder script. Zack Snyder script. The mother's.
Don't try to frighten us with your sorcerer's ways, Lord Vader. Your sad devotion to that ancient religion has not helped you conjure up the stolen data tapes, or given you clairvoyance enough to find the rebels' hidden fleet.
Oh my god.
This bickering is pointless.
It's Luke seeing Burnt, Aunt Beru, Uncle Owen, but it's all slow motion with cheesy music. Oh my god.
I have the death sentence on 12 systems.
I'll be careful.
You'll be dead. This little one's not worth the effort. Come, let me get you something.
This is so ridiculous.
Yeah, I think we get the point.
Whoa.
Fumble a bag. Now I will not fumble a bag.
Oh, this is
Fumble
so.
a bag. Now I will not fumble a bag. Act like you know how this goes.
I like the Obi-Wan like badass music. Oh man. All right. I think we get it. It's
now we know why Zack Snyder films are over 2 hours long.
Yeah, I mean it's first of all hilarious. That was great. We put the link in the description. We're not going to show the whole thing, but I just thought it was so Auralnauts is so good. Subscribe to their channel Aural. It's AURAL Nauts. They've got like they just do their videos are hilarious, especially when it comes to Star Wars stuff. And we showed the Ahsoka one that they did, but it basically exposes like Zack Snyder. His style is kind of easy to mock. You can make your own Zack Snyder movie out of other movies. A couple chat comments here. Thomas Pickett for 2. This shows how important score is too. Exactly.
Yeah.
Womp Biscuit says, I won't be able to stand much more intensity. Spider Geronimo says the over-the-top music score is perfect. Hector Accented says blur the background, filter all the color. ZHV says unnecessary slow-mo, love it. And Jim K became a YouTube member. Thank you for that.
Thanks, Jim.
Alan, any comments?
Yeah. Yeah. Now I know why I don't like Zack Snyder. It's just, it's all fluff.
Yeah.
It's how to make a lame story, I guess, better, but not really.
Exactly. All right. Moving on, because we got a big show today. We got 4 films to review in the next hour. Let's get right to it. Alan, you and I saw Mean Girls.
Yay.
Mean Girls. All right. Tell us the story of Mean Girls, Alan.
Yes. Well, it's the story of 4 fetch girls who it's basically it's the original Mean Girls, but set to music. It's based on the musical. Tina Fey, Tim Meadows, they reprise their roles. And Gore Rice plays Katie, who is who's out with her mother out in Africa, and decides that this is not a place to raise a teen. And so the mother, played by Jenna Fisher, takes Katie to a typical American high school. In fact, it's one of the most diverse high schools ever in existence. And Katie learns all about peer pressure, cliques, and she gets embroiled with the Plastics, who are the most popular girls on campus. And they invite her in, and we see the darkness behind popularity, and all set to music. So, this is not for me.
It's not for me. We're not the target. The target demo is kids, high school.
I mean, my daughter was there with us, and she loved it. And she tells me, all her theater friends are going to go see this movie. It's going to do well this weekend amongst the teens. I just found it long. I found it annoying. Mentioned that this is the most diverse school ever. It is. It crosses the broad spectrum of race, gender, sexuality. It's all there. It's all there, and it's all there. And by the end, it got really annoying. I will say the music's pretty good compared to the other musicals out there. It's probably the better in terms of song and music. I can't recommend this movie. But realizing no one cares what I think about this movie.
Right. I mean, look, the audience that is going to go see this film doesn't care what Film Threat thinks about this. It doesn't really matter. But I'll say, look, I can't say I wasn't entertained during some of it.
Mm-hmm.
There
one of the moments.
It has its moments. One of the characters, her name is Karen Shetty, played by Avintika Vandanapu. She is so smoking hot. I was surprised, wow, I'm so used to seeing desexualized women in movies. Yeah. They went out of their way to make, she's an Indian actress, and wow, she is.
Yeah, there's a lot of cleavage in this movie.
There's a lot. Her cleavage is featured in the movie. It's an entire
song in the movie.
And then there's a scene at a Halloween party where she's effectively just wearing lingerie as her costume. She's hot. That kept me from being bored. Actually, to be quite frank. Look, this movie's not for me. It's the remake of the 2004 original 20 years later, which is weird because Tina Fey and Tim Meadows look kind of the same. Yeah. Wow, they really haven't. It's either that or the makeup is good. But it's the same. It's like an amalgam of, it's not a sequel. It's not a remake. It's the same story, but with songs from the musical. So it's almost like a mashup of, we're going to remake the original, but with the songs from the Broadway play.
Yeah. I mean, weirdly, the movie seems shorter than the original. In this,
yes,
and I think the music has a lot to do with that. The fact that they're wasting about 3 to 4 minutes on a scene that only took a minute to shoot.
Yeah, it stands at 71% on Rotten Tomatoes, 6.4 out of 10 on IMDb. It's I'll tell you this, for the target demo audience will love this movie. I am not that. And it is interesting. I'm curious how the message of this film will resonate, because it's effectively about bullying by calling people names behind their backs. That's the what the the main crux of the message is about this film, and how corrupting and bad that can be when it comes to friendships, right?
I mean, the burn book is a big part of this movie, and it felt like it was a minor side tangent to the film, as opposed to the first book, where I think it played a much bigger role.
Right. But that theme is there, that thread is there, right? But a lot of it is like excuses to like, let's tell songs. I think it was like when we were done watching the film, you and I were walking out, and it's just like, well, they made a movie, a bunch of theater kids got together and made a movie.
Yeah.
That's kind of what this is. So if that's your cup of tea, you'll probably like it. And I actually do happen to like musicals. I didn't love this one. So it's a mixed to negative coming from me. I'm just not the audience for it. Alan, what did you think?
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm not gonna see it again unless I have to drive a bunch of teens to see it.
So when are you taking your daughter to see it again?
I don't know. It's not gonna be this weekend.
I bet you're gonna.
She wants to see it again. She wants to see it again.
I will bet money you're taking your daughter to see it again.
No, I will be.
I don't even have to bet. I already won.
Highly likely that will happen.
All right. Well, there you go. Let's go to your chat comments and questions here, starting with some super chats. Thomas Pickett for 2. Whoa. Did you say cleavage? Yes.
I know there's romance in it. I mean, this is stuff you're not seeing today.
Not just romance, like between two straight people that like each other.
Yeah. And when
do you see that in a movie?
The lead who gets the schoolgirl crush.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was surprised, like, oh wow, like there is like a straight romance. When do you ever see that in a film? Not often. Dave T Geek for 5 says woke never changed meaning. It always meant seeing racism everywhere. Woke people think that's a good thing. Non-woke people know it's delusional. There's a slight difference in it that it basically meant, my understanding, and this comes from Dante James, who happens to be black, my friend Dante, who basically told me stay woke meant just be aware of your surroundings, be aware of like crime, be aware of like you might get, cops might harass you. You just got to basically meant stay alert for danger. Is how he described it. So yeah. AIA says, I saw it on Wednesday. The original was very diverse too. This is a cheaper, lame, gayer version of the original. They sexualize the girls more in this one too. Just watch the original. Fair point.
It's been a while.
It's been a while since I've seen it, but it is considered a classic. I think a lot of it is because that thread of the idea of a burn book. I mean, you may not have a burn book per se, but kids, especially in junior high and high school, they talk shit about each other constantly.
Oh yeah.
And it's this shows how unhealthy that can be when it comes to just, friends in high school.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah. But there's a lot of virtue signaling.
Oh yeah.
Woke kind of, but it's mostly just constant virtue signaling.
Correct.
Especially in the background.
Yeah. The original Slim Jim 491, who's a member. The original is perfect. The musical should have stayed on stage. Didn't need to make it into a movie that's shot for shot exactly like the original.
Yeah. I'll only defend the film in that kids and teens, they don't go to Broadway. So.
And our Kitty 83. Always good to hear from you. Love your tweets. That's all I'm going to say. You're a meme master. This movie looks awful. My daughter loved the original, and we both thought the trailer made the movie look gross.
It's a bad trailer.
It is a bad trailer. I don't think the movie is as bad as the trailer, but if you're a fan of the original, you're probably going to be annoyed by this one.
Yeah. I mean, we've been talking this year specifically that there are 3 movies that are musicals, and the trailers never let on the fact that they were musicals. Color Purple is the other example of it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Thank you, Anarkitty83. Always good to hear from you. Pilgrim Media for 2. Remember how hot Lindsay Lohan was?
I know. They should make her do a cameo in this movie.
Yeah, she does a cameo in this movie. It's kind of surprising they didn't roll it out like right away. Palatial Slumlord. I get Tina Fey didn't want to put in a black mean girl. Who cares? But to then put in a gay black guy to fill the diversity quota is ridiculous. He's very flamboyantly gay.
Yep.
He's the gay black friend.
But he brought most of the energy to the movie.
He did. He was fine. He annoyed me less than other characters. I'll just say this though. If you look for this and start to notice it, Hollywood doesn't like straight, strong black men.
Yeah.
Now that I've said these words, look at movies and notice you don't see a lot of strong, straight black men.
I would throw Asian into that category too.
You don't see a lot of strong, straight Asian men.
Yeah, Shang-Chi, that's ours.
Yeah, but China said that he's ugly. Simu Liu. Ron Enrique says, even I'm a fan of the original film. When I saw the Broadway, it just didn't work for me. So I'll be passing on this one.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say I'm not a fan of modern musicals, especially the ones that are movie adaptations. It's clearly done to get butts and seats in Broadway, and they never capture the things that you love about the original film.
Yeah. Toxic Waltz N8. I know it's supposed to be teens, but why are there so many uggos in the remake? The cast was attractive in the OG. That might have to do with your taste, actually.
I think so. I think the main cast here is they're attractive.
I always find women from the past just way hotter than whatever current day women are going for, which is like, I do think there is, and I noticed this especially in Hollywood, just having lived in Southern California, LA area for so many years. Women went out of their way to make themselves look hot. I mean, not like you got to put heels on in a mini skirt all the time, but I don't think I could go a day without seeing someone dressed in that way or dressed in a way to look very, very sexy. And now it's almost like women are afraid to dress in a way that is attractive. I don't know if it's,
it's very LA. Because I'll tell you, Orange County is very different. The 3 B's of Orange County is blonde and boobs.
Wait, could you repeat what you just said?
The 3 B's of Orange County is blondes and boobs.
Thank you for that, Alan.
You're welcome.
Super chat here from Mr. Burger for 5. By November 28th, 2024, I will have 3 27-minute Mr. Burger cartoons, Indie Rights or Film Hub. What do you recommend? Well, Mr. Burger, depends on what you want. I've seen your cartoon. It's exceptional. Indie Rights can sell international for you. Film Hub cannot. I would have a meeting with Linda Nelson. You can go to indierights.com. They actually are the distributor for Attack of the Doc. And I held on to the Blu-ray rights. So I own the Blu-ray 100%. They own the digital rights, international world internet digital rights for the next 3 years for Attack of the Doc, and I'm very pleased with what they've done with it. And we basically I cared about a rollout, like how they roll it out. So I would
talk to them and negotiate.
Film Hub, you're going to do most of the you're going to do most of the work. Indie Rights kind of does the work for you. So it depends on how much control you want. But I would just set up a meeting. You can set up a meeting with them. If you go to indierights.com, their distribution deal is on the website. Additionally, you'll see there's deliverables. It's very important. You need a trailer, the movie, a poster, and synopses of different word lengths. Those are the key things. And then you need some legal stuff as well. But it's they make it very easy for you. I was very pleased with the experience. And there you are.
All right.
From Rumble, Winter Soldier is now a monthly supporter. Thank you, Winter Soldier. Sub supporter. Beerosaurus Rex. Geronimo, 3rd B there were 2 in. What is this? Okay. Alan, tell me, why did you highlight this? And could you read this?
Someone has to explain my joke.
Huh?
Someone has to explain my joke to the chat of why
All right.
there are 3 Bs.
Well, thank you, Beerosaurus Rex. Probably one of the greatest usernames of anyone, next to Anarkitty83. It's okay to laugh. There's a viral clip of audience audibly groaning after discovering Mean Girls is a musical. Lol. Is there really? Oh, that's great. Can you find it, Alan?
We'll see.
Look for it. Viral clip, audience groaning when they discover it's a musical. So it's got to be something that's in the theater and then they start singing, because they don't really make that clear. They don't make it clear in the trailer. Winter Soldier from Rumble says, you have not seen diversity in Mean Girls until you have seen the stage play. Tina Fey is the only character they never rotate. Yeah, I mean, it's the stage play. I really don't care.
Yeah, Broadway. I mean,
Broadway, whatever.
Say that Broadway isn't woke, isn't it?
Did you find the clip? It's probably on X.
I'm trying to.
Alan, did you find it?
No, I'm not finding it. Give me some good search terms here.
We're never going to find it. Look at
You're
this.
never going to find it.
All right. You know what's so funny? I'm going to find it in like 10 seconds.
Probably.
Well, there you go.
Because you spend too much time on the internet.
That's true. Matthew Hammond for $4.99. Did you see the?
Okay, here we go.
You found it?
No, but I clicked a link. It started making noises. And then
did you see the back
to the Pornhub? And then I don't know what happened.
Matthew Hammond for $4.99. Did you see the Back to the Future 4 trailer with Tom Holland? It is not real, but it was well made. I'm not going to ask Alan to find it because that'll be. Is it on YouTube? Is on. Tell me how to find it.
Yeah. Tell me how to find it.
Because obviously Alan.
Yeah.
Can't find it.
I mean, Chris.
I found it like right away.
Quick, find it.
I found it.
Go on the internet. Go to YouTube. Enter search term.
Hi, I'm Joy Gong. As a traditional Chinese medicine chef and food therapist, I love using Squarespace to share my best.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like an audience reaction.
It's only a minute. All right, let's just do this. Could you create a banner? Thanks, Matthew Hammond.
Let's see. Oops, I'm in the wrong. Thing.
You're in the wrong. We're going to check it out. Did you create a banner?
Yeah, this is what happens when you ask a dyslexic to do something fast.
Do something fast.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not it. I found the Back to the Future 4 trailer.
No, that's the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
I thought you were looking for the Mean Girls reaction trailer.
Look, we pivoted when a super chat came in. We're just going to do this real quick. It's only a minute. We have 3 more movies to review.
The Future.
Back to the Future 4 trailer reaction. One Punch Man Tolkien fan member for 4 months says,
whoops.
Says, congrats on the Michigan win, Chris. Where were you there the last time they won it all? I was at the Rose Bowl in the late 90s, so I believe I was there. That was before they did the Rose Bowl used to be the national championship game, but no longer. So there you go. I just watched it with my family. Had a great time. All right, you ready, Alan?
Sure.
Someone has created a Back to the Future 4 trailer starring Tom Holland. Apparently, it's very good. It's a minute. We are going to watch it. Ready? Are we ready? And first of all, my thoughts on this. Back to the Future, the first movie, is a perfect film. The trilogy is so much fun with Michael J. Fox. I don't see how you do, and I'm so glad they have not done a modern take on Back to the Future. We did actually have someone pitch us Back to the Future, a Back to the Future reboot, which was hilarious, starring a Black lesbian woman. And you can look up that video on the channel. This is something completely different. It's a fan-made trailer starring Tom Holland from KH Studio. Subscribe to their channel. We'll put a link in the description. Here we go. Let's check it out. Alan, you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Here we go. Black screen. What am I doing? Here we go.
Scott! This isn't over, Marty. There's one more adventure waiting for us.
If time travel were possible, what would you do? What would you change? What if not only the past changes, but also the future?
We're the same age. That's impossible.
It's so cool here. Time is our ally, Doc, but also our enemy. We must make the right choice. I have to save you, Dad.
Yesterday would have been a good time to start.
Whoa, this is heavy. Oh, God. There's flying cars here. I knew it. No travel. Great Scott.
Okay. Let's just say I did get some chills from that. I did get some chills. I thought that was pretty good, actually. I thought that was pretty good. I mean, like, if you're going to do it, put in Michael J. Fox. Tom Holland plays his son. Not bad. Not, it's, you know, that's a way to do it. What are your thoughts, Alan?
Yeah, I mean, interesting. A lot of work went into, especially the Tom Holland deep fake. I'm trying to find that movie where the Michael J. Fox segments were in.
Yeah. I wonder what film that's from. And they may have used
I saw
AI.
that movie. I saw that movie. It was produced by Spike Lee, but I can't find the name of it. Oh,
Right,
See You Yesterday. See You Yesterday. That's where that
See You Yesterday. Okay.
Yeah,
Look,
but it was the time. He was basically the teacher of a girl who learned to create a time machine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cheesy to have Michael J. Fox play that part. It's kind of cheesy. So what can you say? I don't know. I you know what? Fine. I mean, they're remaking everything or rebooting everything. If you're going to do it, that's a way to do it. Basically, you know, Marty McFly's son has to save him, which seems to be what the story it was implying. I don't know. Comment from Toxic Waltz N8 says Back to the Future today would go back to 1997. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which would be cool. Wouldn't it be great? You go back to the 90s. No, you know what would be cool? Is if they played it where like today sucks. We're on the precipice of just bad times for America. They go back to the 90s and everybody, you know, racism is gone. Like now racism is back in the present day because of identity politics. The world sucks. Michael J. Fox is a professor. They try to cancel him because at one time in the 80s he'd said something bad. You could really like lean into it and make fun of current times is what you could do. But I hope they never do this. I hope they never do it, and I hope they never remake it.
Well, when Robert Zemeckis dies, they'll do it.
Unfortunately, you're right. And when George Lucas dies, they're going to remake Star Wars. It's okay to laugh for 5. The audience audibly groans after discovering Mean Girls is a musical is on E-Bomb's World. I know, lol. E-Bomb's World. God, I remember checking that all the time. And then now I just check the internet. I just check. Yeah. I check Twitter and YouTube. Those are the places. Kung Fu Hot Dog member for 8 months says, Chris and AI worth every penny. Happy 2024, gents.
I'm AI now. Is that how?
No, Chris and Al. I know. I was just seeing if you were paying attention. That was from The Fifth Element, says Razorburn, who's a member. Thank you. Ron Enriquez. Apparently, Spielberg, Zemeckis, and Gale have an agreement with Universal that the original will not be remade. That's why we got the musical, which is so-so.
So can they make the musical into a movie?
That'll see, that could happen. That could happen. So, yeah.
I hope the Spider-Man musical one day becomes a movie.
Yeah. So Ms. Peacock is asking me, if you have a chance, can you post here the link to the Back to the Future 4 trailer? I literally just looked up Back to the Future 4 Tom Holland and it came up on YouTube. I can wait. I'm just gonna do it right now.
Do we have other movies to review?
We have like other, let's just do that.
Yeah.
Ask me this after the show.
Yeah.
Always look at private chat. I always look at it's something important. Got to look at it. Let's pivot. We're going to pivot, and we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the Beekeeper. Let's talk about Book of Clarence.
Okay.
Here we go. Alan, the Book of Clarence is here.
Yes.
It stars Lakeith Stanfield as he's just a guy trying to get along in the old world. This is 33 AD, by the way. And they're just trying to get along. He and his buds making money. They're basically dealing drugs on the side. And he basically finds a way to kind of scam his way into being a prophet, a messiah, because you can make a lot of money as a messiah. Jesus is in this world, and his twin brother, the twin brother of Lakeith Stanfield's character, his character is called
Clarence.
Clarence. Yes.
His brother's Thomas, who is one of Jesus' disciples.
Yeah, he's one of Jesus's apostles. He calls them apostles, right? In any case, his twin brother is one of the apostles. He's like, well, look, you guys are making money. I'm just going to make money being a fake prophet, a fake messiah. Goes off to make a bunch of money using it. He feels a little guilty, starts to feel guilty for this. And then they're basically, they're orders from Rome. You need to kill all these messiahs. They're starting a new religion. It's making the locals crazy. They might try to overthrow Rome. And so they crucify all of them. I mean, this is the opening shot of the movie, is Clarence on a cross being crucified. You've seen the trailer for this move. And here's what I'll say about this. The attempt of this film is to make an old school religious movie with all of the characters in the city are black. The Romans are all white. So you kind of see where this is going. And while I don't feel the movie like smashed home some political message, it's just by the casting already makes it that. And then first of all, I did not like this film at all. It has its moments. The tone is all over the place. This movie doesn't know if it's a comedy or if it's a straight up religious film, because it tries to do both and doesn't do either well. The comedy is terrible. We're talking about like 0 laughs, where they think what they're doing is really funny. And Clarence, and it's weird, is like this. It's
very old school comedy too. It's not like, clever. We've seen it a million times in other comedies.
Yes, you've seen this done a million times in other movies. Like, it felt like it wanted to be a Mel Brooks film, and it just failed. And then it's like, okay, then it tries to be completely straight up. I mean, there are moments that are right out of The Last Temptation of Christ in terms of how brutal it is when you see Clarence like carrying his cross up the hill. Like, they just milk that for all it is. It's like, what does this movie want to be? And then there's like weird comedic stuff where they go get high with the hookahs. Mm-hmm. And as a way to illustrate them getting high, they float in the air using digital effects. There's like some weird matrixy, like Jesus is in the movie. The funniest thing in the film is Benedict Cumberbatch's character, which is a surprise. I'm not going to ruin it, but he's in the film. I really, the more I thought about it after getting out of the film, because I saw 2 movies yesterday. I saw The Beekeeper and Book of Clarence. I hated this film. Didn't know what it wanted to be. To me, it just the director, whoever the director is, it's the writer-director's problem.
Yeah, it's James Samuel who did The Harder They Fall.
Terrible director. This person should not be directing movies. That's how bad I feel this film is. Because the director's job is to police tone, right? The tone of the movie, the director's like, we're going for this tone. We're going for this tone. This director didn't know what tone they were going for. The result is something that's highly dissatisfying. I despised it, cannot recommend it. We could go deep into like the politics of like the white people play the Romans and they're the bad guys. And then you could harp on that. It doesn't even matter. It's just a bad movie. Alan, what did you think of Book of Clarence?
Yeah, I agree with you in the sense that I didn't like it either. I'm not as harsh on it as you will. I see in the chat Life of Brian being brought up a lot. It's kind of a similar version of Life of Brian, except in the end, Brian finds faith. That's really the difference in this movie. Right. Basically, Clarence is a parallel story to Jesus. Right. He's an atheist who wants to get on Jesus's actions, and so he becomes a messiah himself, and it succeeds. But then guilt kind of takes over, and the money he raises he has to use for a more noble cause. And that's kind of, when you say he doesn't know where he's going, I think he does know where he's going. He's just not doing a very good job about it. The first half is a mess. Yes. I'm like, it moves fast. It introduces characters in a quick way. But really the movie doesn't really find its own until the second act when the whole Messiah thing comes out. In terms of, I've been chatting with people all morning about the movie because one fellow YouTuber likens it to the 5% Nation of Islam. I don't see that connection there. I think this is at best a naive attempt to tell a gospel story. It doesn't work. And then when you get into race, I don't think race is a big issue here. It's basically, I don't think it is. Hold on. The Harder They Fall is basically a Black Western. The Book of Clarence is basically a Black gospel story. Right. Because if you think about it, when you tell the story of Jesus, it's everyone's Jewish except the Romans who are Anglos. And that's essentially, you're just replacing the Jews with Black. With an all Black cast, and so this is not the gospel I know. This is not the Jesus I know, and I feel like from the research I've done so far about the James Samuel is that I think he's just he's a guy who just wants to tell a Jesus story and doesn't know a whole lot about Jesus or the Gospels, especially to it. Because I will tell you this: evangelicals will hate this movie; they'll call it blasphemous. Everyone else will just kind of, okay, I've seen it. It's black Jesus, and that's kind of what we have here. So I don't think it's as evil as people will say it is. Right. But that's where we get into the political. I don't think there is a political, other than the cast being Black and it kind of having that urban overlay to it. Right. I don't think it's political. It's a little weird from the standpoint of, it's like, is this trying to be, like in the Flintstones, they have all the modern conveniences, but it's all Flintstoneized. It's like they try to do stuff like with this, like they go to a hair salon where people cut hair, but it's back then, or they go to the hookah thing. And it's just like, there's a whole like economy where it's like present day, but I just think that the tone of this just doesn't work at all. I mean, I will say the portrayal of Jesus in this is, it's a naive version of Jesus. I don't think it's Last Temptation of Christ Jesus, but I don't think it's, it's not what my understanding of who Jesus is either. So, Alan, would you recommend the Book of Clarence? Same. No. I don't recommend it. Although, like, I had hope, like when I saw the trailer, it's like, oh, okay, this could be interesting. But it just fell flat to me. Tone, it's an important thing. Are you making a comedy or a drama? Pick one. Yeah. I mean, that first act is so important to get you in that world and get you into the story. And it fails from the get-go at doing that. Well, the whole thing is you can have comedy in a drama. You can have drama in a comedy. But this movie did not know which one it wanted to be. And it ended how you kind of already know the story. I don't need to tell you. Yeah. So I can't recommend it. Although Benedict Cumberbatch is great. Benedict Cumberbatch is the best part of the movie, and he's in it for like 5 minutes. Yeah. Let's go to your chat comments and questions here, starting with Benjamin. Any secret tunnels mentioned in this movie? Alan, the haircut ing. That's right. Dots. That's right. For 199.
Bill S. Preston Esquire. I don't care about the blasphemy angle, but you have to be twice as funny as you are offensive.
Yeah, that's
Life
a
of
great
Brian.
point.
People kept mentioning Life of Brian. Life of Brian is great and stands up to today.
Yeah, but Life of Brian was a commentary on the church. Not it wasn't a slight against Jesus. It was about the church and how it has evolved into kind of what it is today.
Yeah,
that's what that movie is about.
Spaceman says, an atheist grifting as a prophet for money. Wow. Where can I see this movie? It is blasphemous. Those are the people Jesus threw out of the temple.
Yeah, but yeah. I mean, let's be fair. It's a redemption story.
It's a redemption story.
Yeah, he starts off as an atheist, and it kind of goes the positive, wholesome route by the end.
I feel bad that Chris and Alan have to watch these bargain bin movies, says MK Solid 82. Well,
wish I paid bargain bin
price. My life. Laura Buckle says, I don't think a movie that starts with crucifixion would have an uphill battle to be a comedy. Well, I mean, they did it in Life of Brian and it worked. There's a song, only let's something that look on the bright side
always
of life.
Look on the bright side.
Always look on the bright. Always look on the bright side of life. Do-do, 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 do-do. Heinlein says, how many boxes does this movie check? My determining factor for movies in 2024. It checks pretty much all the boxes.
No, it checks one, black.
There you go. Wes Ray, we have clearance, Clarence. Davina Duckworth, putting the profit in profit. From Rumble. Oloki. Book of Clarence sounds like a movie I would have preferred to have been made by the Wayans brothers right after they made I'm Gonna Get You Sucker. See, if they had done it, it would have been funny because they understand comedy. One Punch Man Tolkien fan, I'm going to watch it because I thought it was a parody, so hard pass.
It's not a parody.
Not a parody.
Not a parody.
Not a parody.
It should have been a parody.
Should have been. All right. Moving on. We're going to do a quick review of a film that I have seen that I think Alan has not seen.
Yes, I have not seen this.
Fine. I'll do it, Alan. I'll do it.
But I did see Mean Girls, so.
That's all right. Makes up for it. Okay. Let's talk about T.I.M. T.I.M is kind of a low budget sci-fi film. I would liken it to it's like a indie sci-fi thriller. I'd liken it to kind of an episode of Black Mirror. I know we say that, but a lot with like indie sci-fi, but this one really fits it. T.I.M or T1M, T.I.M, is a robot, and T.I.M is this sort of robot assistant that can do everything. It's like it's a personal assistant, but also can do like household tasks, but also can buy things on the internet, can help you with work, etc. It's about to be rolled out from this company, and Abby works at the company, and the head of the company says, hey, why don't you take this device home, work with it for a while, get the bugs out. You can't just do it at work, actually use the product. So Abby brings T.I.M home. She has a husband who works at home as well. The device starts to get a little overreaching and have feelings for Abby. So much so that T.I.M goes out of his way to get the husband out of the picture so that T.I.M can have Abby all to himself. The device falls in love with the creator. It turns into a typical thriller that you've seen before. There are revelations that come out about it. The guy, I will say this, the actor who plays T.I.M is really good. Eamon Ferran is the name of the actor. He's just kind of chilling. So he very much, you buy him as playing this artificial human, kind of like David in Prometheus. It's that kind of performance. So it's like I don't know if you remember, David was the character of David was great in Prometheus, and Eamon Ferran, who plays T.I.M in this, has that same kind of vibe to him. I thought it was a very good thriller. It could have been an episode of Black Mirror. It's also an hour and 40 minutes. So I was entertained. Not a strong recommendation, but like if you run across it and you want to have you want to watch a good sci-fi thriller, this will fit the bill. You'll enjoy it. There are a lot of questions about AI, a lot of clever things about like what this device can do to lie or go off the rails, how the device works. And I thought it just worked. It just worked for me. So I quite enjoyed it. And not a strong recommendation, but if you like indie sci-fi thrillers, this fits the bill. So check out T.I.M.
I believe it's on Shudder. Is that right?
I don't know. I'm told that it's in theaters in limited release and then coming to VOD. All stuff at this level definitely tends to come out, it comes out like, on all those platforms. Let's go to your comments and questions here. Lod689, Toaster meets girl. Toaster ends boy. Toaster takes girl. Hey, did you write the plot of this? Reese Corin, does anyone remember Simone or Sim1? Yes, I remember Simone. I thought that was good as well. The Nerd Far Away, I'm getting Electric Dreams vibes. Yeah, Nerd Far Away. Yeah, you would be correct. What did Dante say about Clarence, says Patrick Lemire? He did not like it either, which means Dante is racist. No, but like both of us agreed. We were like, oh, I really like Lakeith Stanfield. I like these actors. James McAvoy's in it. He plays this Roman leader. And, great cast, just terrible directing. It could have been 90. They needed
story too, yeah.
Story, like it could have been 90 minutes, and it's either a comedy or a drama. The guy couldn't decide whether he want one or the other. Thank you, Patrick. John Thomas for 2. Sounds like a lousy Life of Brian remake. It is. Life of Brian is just better.
Mm-hmm.
All right, time to pivot. So Tim, soft recommendation for Tim, if that makes any sense. So there you go. All right, we're going to pivot here. Talk about another movie. Let me set the table here. Let me set the table for The Beekeeper. Alan, tell us the story of The Beekeeper.
Yes.
Starring Jason Statham.
Yeah. So Jason Statham plays Adam Clay. He's a beekeeper out on the farm of a widow, Eloise, played by Felicia Rashad. And Felicia's character, Eloise, she basically saved Adam from his past, and he's appreciative of that. And while going out doing his beekeeping stuff, Eloise's computer gets a virus, and she calls the phone number that the virus says to call so they can get it cleared up. And in a matter of minutes, all of Eloise's money is gone. In fact, a $2 million foundation she was supervising, all that money is gone. And Eloise is so distraught that she kills herself. And Adam comes back with a nice jar of honey, sees the dead body, and says, well, I'm going to get revenge. And he goes out to the company, burns it to the ground. But we soon find out that the company that took her money has connections going all the way to the top. To the top where? Well, you have to see the movie to find out. But while Adam is taking down the bad guys, one mini boss at a time, we have the brave FBI agents, Agent Verona, played by Emmy Raven Lampman, who happens to be Eloise's daughter, and her partner Matt. They chase down the Beekeeper, and it becomes a political thriller at the end. So let's just say everything you saw in the trailer happens in the first act, and the movie kind of expands into a conspiratorial political thriller from there. I will say this: if you want to experience this movie the right way, go to Disney Plus, watch Echo, and then after you watch Echo, go to your movie theater and then watch The Beekeeper, and you will swear The Beekeeper is the greatest action movie ever made. Because I remember at the end of this thinking to myself, that was a really great movie. And I remember, and the other thing is, throughout the movie, I was like, wow, this is so much better than Echo. They handled that a lot better than Echo did. And so I quite frankly had a lot of fun with this movie, and I will admit I think Echo clouded my judgment on this movie.
Well, I'll say this. First of all, we should mention that this movie was directed by David Ayer, who did Suicide Squad.
Yeah. And by the way, Jeremy Irons in the background there, he's in the movie, and he is very Jeremy Irons in this movie.
He's very, very Jeremy Irons. All I can say is this. I love this movie. The Beekeeper is I don't think I'm going to see a better movie in January.
Your favorite action movie of the year.
Jason Statham is always solid. Okay. Everything he's in, he's just likable. He's solid. He gets the job done. He's believable as an action hero. This is so much fun. And also, it had sort of vibes for me, The Tax Collector, which came out in 2020. Also directed, David Ayers directed that. I mean, that thing is a brutal action movie. David Ayer also did Bright, End of Watch, Fury. If you've seen Fury and Suicide, I'm just telling you, his action resume, solid. This film creates so many. First of all, if you need it, you can't have a great hero without great villains. The villains in this, including the sub bosses that he kind of like grinds through, they're such a-holes. They're like these guys like that are like that are just driving like they're, you've got people at the computers ripping people off, and there's like a boss that's driving them on. Come on, we got to meet our goals. We got to do this. They're all surrounded by these computers and these makeshift companies ripping people off. Josh Hutcherson's character, he's the son of the president of the United States. We end up finding out who Josh Hutcherson, he's basically Hunter Biden. He's doing drugs. He's an a-hole. He's like, oh my God, he's such a good villain because he's so unlikable. You just are like, oh my God, please die. Like, and there's just so many great, whenever they create a character of like, oh, like another, there's so, you just like are like, oh my God, I can't wait for that person to die.
Yeah,
and they die in such cool ways.
This is my, I don't want to
give it away.
My comparison to Echo is the fact that they're developing characters on the spot. You understand them, you understand how you have to feel about them, and then when they die, you feel great. The movie is it's not very grounded. There's not a lot of stuff believable. The only thing believable about this movie is the politician who has integrity.
Yes. There's two unbelievable things. One, it actually really bothered me was the FBI, the character. They make the FBI to be like the good guys who investigate crimes and solve crimes.
Yeah, because I was just like the FBI, but it'll kill everybody else.
I don't think that I don't know. Does anyone really believe the FBI is doing good in this country now? That they lead you to believe that in this film, which is weird. But in any case, that was unbelievable. And then a politician with integrity, probably a little unbelievable. But what's great is you have characters they introduce, and within 20 seconds of them being on screen, you know who they are, what they're doing. It really is like great character, like development for an action movie, right? Because characters are not, they're, the side characters, I'm talking about mostly on the villain side, right? Because Jason Statham is effectively a one-man army. And you find out that he's part of a secret program with the government where they activate.
That the government doesn't even know about.
That the government doesn't even know about. They activate a beekeeper, and the beekeeper just takes care of things. Yeah. So much fun. David Ayer, if you ever had any doubts about David Ayer as a director, go see this. Now I really want to see the Ayer cut of Suicide Squad even more now, having seen this, because if David Ayer got to do whatever the heck he wants, we would get something special. This movie is, and not only that, this movie's fun. It's fun. Doesn't take itself too seriously. It's like an hour, 40 minutes ish.
Yeah. It's unplug your brain fun.
Unplug your brain fun. I plan to see it again. Yep. It was just a blast. And Jason, a lot of it is also Jason Statham is going to Jason Statham. But he is Jason Statham on steroids in terms of the types of characters he's played in other movies like The Expendables or The Meg 2, which we saw last year. But the thing that makes this movie work are the villains. They're so evil. Like what they do to this like old woman who runs a charity. She's got like $2 million of money she's raised in this charity, and it's to go to kids. And she's just doing her finances. And it's all, I mean, this is in the trailer. All of her money is just sucked away. And then you mess with the wrong person. I mean, it's just like, it's just over the top. The action, the fate that the bad guys meet, it's satisfying. You see them go out in the best, bloodiest, and most clever ways. I had a blast with this film.
Now I will say there's a bit of virtue signaling going on here.
What?
Well, first of all, the lead FBI agent, and specifically Emmy Raver Lampman, who's black. No. Hear me out. Here's the problem. Here's the problem. So she is the lead agent in this investigation. She's not high up on the pole in terms of hierarchy, but she's the POC presence in the FBI.
Right.
And then when you look at all the FBI agents they bring in, what are they? Every single one of them. They're all white men.
Yeah.
So apparently the FBI has only one black woman, and it happens to be this person because you would expect to see this army of white male FBI agents to be at least diverse in that case, and they're not. They're just sending white men to their graves.
Yeah. Well, look, I can't recommend this movie enough. Best film I've seen this year. The year we're only like
January 12th.
We're not even 2 weeks into January, but I'll just say this. I don't expect to see a better film in the month of January. I will see this again. Had a blast with it. I mean, yeah, that's the only virtual signal in the movie is really the FBI agent. It's just like, all right, we checked a box, fine. But it didn't bother me. It didn't sideline the movie. It didn't take me out of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
At all.
No.
It didn't take me out of it. Whereas sometimes, a virtue signal like that will completely take you out of the film. This didn't do that. It's just like, all right, fine. And she is a narrative thread. She's more like the narrative thread of like, who is this guy? Because we see from kind of outside, it's not really Jason Statham's point of view. He's this threat that like when he shows up, get ready.
I'll be honest. The part that bothered me most about her was she goes to work in t-shirts and torn jeans.
Yeah, lowering standards yet again. Yeah, we may be bending towards the wrong side of the bell curve in the world today.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just say that. All right. Strong recommendation for The Beekeeper from me. I plan to see it again. And oh God, I'm just happy that we got at least one decent movie in January. Because
I think Paulie's ticked off at me.
I'm
reading his comments, but there was one Asian FBI agent as well. But I would say I enjoyed The Beekeeper. I don't think it's as great as you feel it was, but it was definitely fun. And
here's what I'll say. Like as you pointed out with Echo, and I haven't seen Echo. I've seen clips from Echo. And they're embarrassing. Like they are embarrassing. The people who worked on Echo should go see The Beekeeper. That's how you do action. That's how you do it. But I don't even know, like, is Echo a hero? Like it just she's a murderer.
She's supposed to be the anti-hero, like Punisher or like Daredevil himself. But and here's the other thing, just to harp on Jason Statham here, but with Echo, you've never seen this actress before, and you're supposed to buy into her badassery. In this movie, Jason Statham has built up such a CV in terms of being the action hero, the tough guy. He plays bad, he plays good, so that when he shows up instantly in The Beekeeper, you understand the character just by looking at him, by knowing, hey, that's Jason Statham, and there's already a character backstory to that character that you already feel because you know this actor for a very long time.
Yeah. Anyways, strong recommendation from me, a recommendation from Alan, though not as strong.
Yeah.
Let's go to your chat comments and questions here. We're going to start with Zodlander, member for 4 months. Anyone die from bee stings? Give me the honey, FT.
I
like that one.
I thought there was going to be a moment where the bad guys got stung, but
or bees were going to be a part of it. It's just the backdrop. It's the backdrop.
Well, no, there's a part where they're attacking bees, and I thought that would okay.
But he's a literal beekeeper
Yes.
in the movie. So yeah,
he's bringing honey to Eloise when he finds her dead.
Thank you for that, Zodlander. Oh, and we have over 1,000 people watching live currently. Smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. Just a little friendly reminder, and we appreciate
200
you.
on Rumble, by the way.
200 on Rumble. You got to step it up, Rumble. Why? It's weird. Sometimes we'll get like 1,000 people watching us on Rumble or 50 people watching us on Rumble. I have no idea like how the YouTube seems to be more consistent. We get 500 plus watching, and sometimes more, depending on what's going on. But more comments here. Ryan Landis, Chris, that's a great idea. At the end of the month, name the best film. So far, this is the best film of the month. We should do it. Film of the month. Alan, remember that because I'll forget.
Oh, okay. By the way, if
Ryan, remind me.
I'll just say American Fiction goes nationwide today. So go see American.
But that was last month.
No, today it's in more theaters. That's all I'm saying.
Rabbi Steve, going to see the first IMAX showing today at my local theater. Generally a fan of both the Staith, should be said with at least a bad Statham impression. The Staith, and Air, except for Suicide Squad. I don't blame Air for Suicide Squad. That movie was taken away from him, and the people who cut the trailers cut the movie, and it shows it's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Brown Cornelius 000 says, I watched The Beekeeper right after The Bricklayer with Eckhart. I agree with Alan.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people agree with Alan sometimes. Ron Enriquez saw it last Saturday at Nationwide IMAX Preview. Wow. Felt like a classic 90s actioner, fun and brutal. The elevator scene.
Oh, yeah.
Sequel, please. That elevator scene.
That was a good elevator scene.
Okay, that elevator scene, by the way, it's like right out of, was it The Omen or The Omen 2? Had an elevator scene that was similar where something bad happens to someone involving an elevator.
Yeah. But the thing is, it was a new take on the elevator scene.
Yes, I thought it was excellent.
Yeah, and that's all we ask. If you're gonna do something tropey, elevate it somehow, make it different.
T-Pack 28 for 10. Thank you for that. Very generous. How many times do they say he's just a beekeeper? Do they?
Well, they say it. Beekeeper is said a lot. But
Beekeeper is said a lot. It definitely seems set up for a franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Like the way that they set up this, it's like, oh, they're building a franchise that may or may not involve Statham, but the concept for sure. Patrick Lemire, eat prison food before you go to Taco Bell to make Taco Bell super amazing.
It does. It does.
Why was this comment highlighted? I don't
know.
No,
because I was saying see Echo before seeing The Beekeeper.
Oh, that makes sense. Yes.
Yeah.
I love that you have to explain it to me because I'm not that smart.
That's all people are doing now. All my jokes need to be explained.
Yeah. No, but but you're right. No, I understood your comment now because you told me about this before I saw it. Like, I understand it. Like Echo is so bad in comparison to this. If that's the kind of action movie you're gonna make I mean, it's just, you can't watch Echo after watching The Beekeeper, and you cannot debate or argue with me that Echo is worthwhile. And also, by the way, I was watching Critical Drinkers stream yesterday, and it felt like a hostage video because they were all talking about how bad Echo was, and I'm just like, I didn't watch it. I saved 5 hours of my life, but I was entertained. I was entertained by everyone on YouTube doing videos about Echo.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things about this movie, it's that idea of Jason Statham, one man, how is he going to take down an army of 25 guys with guns? And you have to think these things through, whether it's plausible enough or not. You still have to think it through and say, well, how could he even remotely have a chance to do it and go that way? Echo just was choreography. It was fight choreography.
Hector M. Quirindango Ortiz. Hey, you say it, Alan. You say it.
Hector Quirindango
Ortiz. I would love to see Alan and Chris analyze Asian-led movies produced with U.S. people versus the ones produced in Japan and China with actors like Chow Yun-fat, Jackie Chan, Michelle Yeoh, etc.
Asian-led movies produced with U.S. people. Yeah, we could spend 5 minutes and talk about that.
I'll say this. Well, I'll say this. They're always better when they come from the source. If they're made in China, or if they're Hong Kong, or if they're Japanese, they're always better.
Yeah.
American, they just don't know how to do it. Like, look at the Godzilla. I saw that terrible Godzilla trailer when I was at the movies last night, and God, that trailer is awful. It's almost insulting. The stupid running Godzilla with the pink, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, but I'll just say that I bring this up a lot because a lot of us Asians in America who want to become actors, who want to become writers and directors, and it's hard to find those chances. And honestly, it hasn't really taken off for us until Crazy Rich Asians came out, and then from there you have Everything Everywhere All at Once, and so Joyride is another great movie. So you're looking for that one major hit to prove that we know what we're doing, and I think Crazy Rich Asians was that. And I think now you're going to see a rise in Asian American movies, hopefully.
Right. Jay Darklighter, the thing about The Beekeeper is that there's a lot of buzz around this film. That sounds like a joke that Alan would make. Hieronymus, no way I was watching Fury and Suicide Squad. No way I was watching Fury and Suicide Squad. Yeah, we'll check out Beekeeper. Hey, Paulie from Latino Slant, member for 17 months. Every scene with the feds, they had coffee or Twinkies.
Yeah, that's why we love them.
Yeah. Had a great conversation with Paulie yesterday. By the way, quick, Paulie, what's the name of the website, your website? Is it latinoslant.com? Paulie just launched, he's just getting started with a website for Latino Slant. Well, they will have written reviews. It's kind of like, Paul, I can't, for some reason, it won't let me go to it. Because my connection isn't private.
Well, it's not latinoslant.com, that's for sure.
What is it, Paulie? Can you let us know? I want to bring it up and put it in the chat, please, Paulie, and we can highlight it. What is the name of the website? Maybe we could just Google Latino Slant.
Yeah, I tried it.
He showed it to me.
Oh, it's thelatinoslant.com.
The Latino Slant. Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Thelatinoslant.com.
The Latino Slant. Okay, got it. Congratulations to Paulie for this. It is a new website featuring the YouTube channel, also featuring reviews, and great. It just launched, so it's not, Paulie's still working on it, but you got links to merch, YouTube. There are posts. You can subscribe to an email newsletter. He basically just ripped off Film Thread. Let's be honest, but it looks so good. He's just getting started. Look at this. The top 5 Latino actors in 2024. What are they? Well, there you go. You can scroll down and see Ana de Armas. There you go. I would say that Pedro, you got to put Pedro on that list. Ariana DeBose, Melissa Barrera. There they are. We got the top 5. Good job, Paulie.
I think Paulie would say you got the only 5.
You got the only 5 working in Hollywood. It's featuring Paulie's book, YouTube, Slant merch. Great job, Paulie. Congrats to you. Go visit thelatinoslant.com. Great job, Paulie. Great job. And Paulie goes on to say, fun, badass flick. I would completely agree. A couple of super chats here. Let's get those in. Kate C, aka Snake Plush Kitten, for 5. Watch a Grace Randolph review before watching Film Threats. Will make it even more insightful. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I watch Grace Randolph. I watch John Campea. I watch Nerdrotic. I watch The Drinker. I watch Ryan Kinnell. I watch Geeks and Gamers in the morning.
I swear, I was floored when she acknowledged the MCU.
Well, how can you deny it now? It's just so obvious to me.
Well, she can't. She says it's undeniable. That's true.
Yeah, it's undeniable, ridiculous. But yeah, it's Grace Randolph. Look, I want to understand why certain people are popular. Why are certain people like what? And also, I get something different. Like I'll watch Campea and Grace Randolph to kind of get what does a normal person think. I don't consider myself necessarily normal. I'm a little film obsessed and kind of a nerd, but yeah. Dr. Fauci's prison butt for 5. When the studios are inevitably bought by the 4 big tech companies, they will put theaters out of business since they're competitors to streaming.
Yeah, when I walked out of my local theater yesterday, I was worried for its survival.
Just because you're there on a Thursday night, how packed was it?
It wasn't packed out. I mean, it's kind of like there's a small parking lot in front of the theater, and then a giant parking structure next to it. And if I can find parking at that small parking lot, I know it's going to be a slow night.
I don't know, man. There's look, it all comes down to that article on Film Threat.
Mm-hmm.
It all comes down to that article on filmthreat.com. Oh, it's not even on the front page anymore. There's another.
Oh yeah, we could put it back.
Put it back.
Yeah, we do have obligations that we have to.
No. Look, well, there's like there's what I would say on average about 5 posts daily on Film Threat.
Yeah,
5 new stories, whether it's reviews or whatever. That's just a normal day for us. So
yeah, I mean, I talked to someone who represents family theaters, and they're just thankful that Sound of Freedom came out last year. Thankful that Godzilla -1 came out because small theaters were having a hard time and a lot of pressure being put on them by the big studios to keep their films in theaters.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull that off for a second, but let's keep going here. Hey, Sons and Shadows, who's a member, gifted 5 Film Threat memberships. 5. Go to the members tab, members only. You get access to the Discord, and there you go. And there's other stuff there too. We haven't done a giveaway in a while. We did a bunch before the holidays. We'll be getting some giveaways upcoming. We give away codes to digital movies. So look for those. Just click on the members tab for member exclusive content. Thomas Pickett, going back to Tim, the Tim review, says Thomas Pickett for 5 says, I was checking out the Tim trailer, but ran into the Indian film Fighter. Check that trailer out. Well, absolutely, I will. I will absolutely check out that trailer. Cool. And there you go. We are waiting for our special guest to show up. Supposed to be at 10:45. I usually say check in 5 minutes before. Hopefully there's not a miscommunication, but we're gonna look at this story again because I think it's so important. The link, Ms. Peacock, you could make sure that the link is in the description for this episode to this article. We did read it at the top, but I think it's what I hope it begins is a discussion about what this industry is about. Is the industry about bringing up people who really don't have anything to say, so they just parrot the message, because they don't really have. This is why I think when you've got young writers, they don't really know who they are, what their vision is, or what makes a movie. If you insert their name, if you tell me a James Gunn film, I know what that is. If you tell me a David Ayer film, I know what that is because I understand who those people are as creators. But when you have people that are young and up and coming in the industry, I think the minimum 10 years you've got to spend in the industry before you should be even allowed to do something substantive.
And you need to be associated with successful projects too.
Correct. You need to have gone through the process and whatnot. And what's happened is there's been this incredible cultural shift in the industry that has hobbled the industry. And all done with, I guess, good intentions. good intentions. So there you go. Any other thoughts on this, Alan? Because you edited the piece. We were like texting furiously back and forth. Well, maybe not furiously. We were going back and forth last night about this story and just making sure certain things were protected.
Our conversations were, how do we make this anonymous? And I go, this is how.
Anyways, I just want to get your take.
I mean, I'll say the thing that always stands out to me from this article was, that.
Wait. Hold for a second. Hold for a second. I think what you have to say is so important. Alan, what are your thoughts on this article?
Well, the thing that stuck out to me the most in this was, I mentioned before, but it's this idea that writers can no longer tell stories that entertain people. They've got to say something. They have to have some kind of message in it, or they have to teach us something, because we're all bad people. We don't know how to get along. And so we need to be taught lessons. And so now we have a generation of young people who feel like that they need to teach us old people lessons about life, when clearly we know it's the other way around. And so they don't know how to relate to us. These stories are just sheer narratives. This character did this character did that, this character wasn't seen, this character is now seen, this character now feels seen by everybody. So see us. Stories that, I mean, just go back, think about your favorite movie and ask yourself, why is it your favorite movie? And invariably it's because there's some element of that story that you connected with. That somehow this writer, this director, and this film crew understood what you're going through in life and wanted to portray that on screen and tell you that you have hope. Those are the movies that generally are what we consider our favorites. Are what we always apply the words great to, and I defy anyone to use the word great, excellent, to anything that's coming out these days. I got into it with people who couldn't believe that I would say that Echo is an embarrassment to the Native American community. It is an embarrassment to the Native American community because there's no excellence. They make stupid mistakes. Echo's leg, she loses her leg because of a giant shard of glass that came out of nowhere, because clearly it couldn't have come from the car accident that she was in. Excellence. No one cares about excellence anymore. No one cares about relating or being empathetic to people anymore. No, these people, they just want to be seen and they want to be heard. And that's what we call narcissism. There you go. That's what I feel about this.
Well, look, the industry is suffering as a result.
Mm-hmm.
Just to piggyback on what you just said, the industry is suffering as a result. Audiences are turning away. If you look at the big picture, the audience has been divided by all of the streamers, right? There's, we went from like, wow, I cut the cord. I basically have Netflix in this and I'm happy. Now I basically rotate around the different streaming services I have. It's too much. It's too much. And most everything you see is just okay. It's just okay. It's mid. That's why I feel like we could call the whole month of January mid-January. Because one, we're actually in mid-January, but everything coming out in January is mid as a movie, with the exception of The Beekeeper for me. But wow, we're just going through a time where I hope that there are lessons learned. I hope that if the conversation in the meeting room can shift back to story and character, you're going to weed out the people, because if they don't have interesting ideas, then what are you even saying? What are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if the most interesting thing about you is your identity, you're not interesting.
Yeah.
I'm going to tweet that. So let me,
or maybe the reason you're not being heard is because you have nothing to say.
That's exactly right. And I feel like it takes time. Like, look, what's weird is I'll see like old videos of me, like from the 90s, or like stuff that I wrote like in the 80s and 90s. And I'm like, I pretty much had like the same kind of way of looking at things, which is corporate and big studio stuff mostly sucks because it's not pure in terms of coming from a one creative vision, and indie stuff tends to be better at that, right?
Mhm.
What Hollywood has tried to do is co-opt indie filmmakers and then control them. Now, some are perfectly willing to be controlled. The filmmakers behind the Captain Marvel movie were Sundance darlings. They came from the Sundance Film Festival, suddenly thrust into make a Marvel movie, and then they were easily controlled, and you got what you got with Captain Marvel.
Right. Well, I think Gary brought it up. It seems like, not to get conspiratorial here, but the reason they bought Marvel, the reason they bought Star Wars was because we weren't hearing their voices. And so the best way to do is to buy what we were hearing and now speak through those voices. And that's why they've ruined Disney. That's why they've ruined Star Wars. That's why they've ruined Marvel.
But Marvel at the beginning, like, this was cool. Marvel hired James Gunn, who had done, previous to doing the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie, had only done small indie movies. Now, his indie movies were awesome. Super being among my favorites. James Gunn, rare talent that could transition to doing a big budget studio film where he could do what he wants. You and I saw Oppenheimer the other night at a special
concert screening. Yeah.
Concert screening where they performed the music live in front of the movie with sound. It was like dialogue and sound only. And it struck me, there's an interesting line in that movie, and this is coming from Christopher Nolan, who is a guy who did indie films. He did 2 indie movies. He did a movie called Following, a black and white 16 millimeter movie that is very difficult to find. Yeah. Get it on standard def.
Also, he premiered a film at Slamdance, not Sundance, but
Slamdance was following. The next year, he had Memento with Guy Pearce, another really, and Joey Pants, another really solid indie movie. And by the way, The Following standard def DVD is the only DVD ever done where Christopher Nolan does a commentary track. So look for that movie. My point is that Christopher Nolan was able to transition to making studio movies where he could retain his voice and vision. Now he's got more or less leeway depending on what he's doing. I think in the Batman films, he was given certain marching orders of what a Batman movie should be. I think The Dark Knight is arguably one of the greatest superhero movies ever made. Batman Begins, second for me, but people, have it the other way around. I get it. But
third one, not so much.
The third one, there are issues. It's a great half of a movie. But in any case,
okay.
There's a really good line I noticed in Oppenheimer that didn't stand out to me before. And it's when one of the scientists, God, I forget the actor. There's so many.
David Krumholtz, that one? Or
every white male in that movie. It's like they just hired every white male in Hollywood to be in that movie. And Robert Downey Jr.'s performance is exceptional. The point is the line is a very simple line. You've got Matt Damon playing this general with this task who's all about secrecy. And one of the scientists gets up on a chalkboard who's basically telling the other scientists information that he should not be telling them. And the general kind of overseeing Matt Damon as a general, looking at him like, we had this conversation about secrecy. And he's like, and the scientist responds, I told you I understood. I didn't say I agreed. And that's what I feel like we need a little more of that energy in Hollywood. Mm-hmm. I understand what you're telling me. I don't agree. And I'm going to make the movie that I want or hire the staff room that I want. And this is kind of where we are now is, well,
that's why I keep saying Hollywood's not the dream. Even if you want to become a filmmaker, you get into Hollywood, you're no longer a filmmaker. You're a drone to the system. That's why indie film is so great, is because it's your movie, it's your story. You tell it the best way you can, and whether people want to listen to it or not, that's up to them. But at least you told your story.
Well, I'll just say this also, like, I wouldn't just say that just because a movie is an independent film doesn't make it a great film. Mm-hmm. It means that in a lot of cases, we see a lot of indie movies that swing for the fences and fail. I would put like Book of Clarence in that category. It's like, well, he swung for the fences. He failed. Mm-hmm. It is what it is. But we can point out, I feel like there are more failures as more indie films fail, but a lot of them try to have a singular creative vision, and sometimes you can see through the roughness of an indie film. I always say it's like a bird with broken wings. It's flawed, but there are interesting things here that are worthwhile.
Yeah, because I mean that's the thing is when you do a Hollywood film, there's so many hands in the process.
Yes,
you know, any bad ingredient will ruin the entire meal.
Right,
and that happens in Hollywood. You could have written the great. In fact, we hear stories this all the time. A great script, but the execution was horrible and killed the story.
Let's we're gonna leave it there. Let's go to your comments and questions. Latino Slant gifted 5 Film Threat memberships. Thank you, Paulie. Congratulations on the launch of your website. He's kind of doing a soft launch here, but just wait. You got it. And also, I have so much stuff to tell Paulie that like helped the Film Threat website get to a place where we make money on advertising. I know the ads can be annoying, but it helps keep the lights on for us. But Paulie, I have a lot to tell you about what you can do with your website. My recommendation, you need 3 to 5 stories daily posted on there. You need to be indexed by Google. A lot more I can tell you, and you got to get a Google AdSense account to get ads eventually on the site. Congratulations, and thank you for the 5 Film Threat memberships. Bush and Ryu, Cat for 10. Chris Allen, I just joined in, so I presumed you'd be reviewing Beekeeper and Mean Girls. Missed it. How about I review Book of Clarence for you guys on Sunday? I'll write and give you a video review. Send it in. Send it in, Bush and Ryu, Cat. You know how to reach us. And we reviewed all those movies before you're late to the party. You can rewind the video. You can rewind while we're live. MK Solid 82 for 199. You guys should react to the Abigail trailer. I love that trailer. I saw it online when it hit, and I actually saw it at the theater last night. It's really good. We'll do that.
What was the quick story on that? I know I saw the trailer. I just don't.
Oh, it's really. I don't want to ruin it.
No, I mean, there's the quick story behind
the trailer. Ruins the movie. You get the whole plot of the movie.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw it. I just don't. I'm trying to remember which.
Remember that we will do that on next Wednesday, because we're wrapping things up here. John Thomas for 5. Good intentions, my butt. Just like you gave benefit of the doubt to the Obama propaganda film, he sees the U.S. as evil. I'm saying there are good intentions in hiring people with less experience. The problem is they still have to earn that. They have to earn the place, and that takes 10 years. So I'm saying there's good intentions behind bringing other people up in the industry. I think you maybe misunderstood. And also, I like that film, Leave the World Behind. I think it is a warning. It's a warning. So I don't know what to say. Also, like, look, if you're aware that something is propaganda, it cannot have an effect on you. I call it like, we used to call it back when I was doing Film Threat in college in the 80s, and then got out of college because that was a mess. It was, if you think college is bad now, it was bad when I was going to college. But we call it become aware. If you're aware that something is propaganda, you are shielded against it. You have like this invisible shield. It's like, yes, I know this is propaganda. The thing that you need to do is wake up weak minds, which is what The Matrix is about. So there you go.
So Abigail's the ballerina movie, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. I actually want to see that movie.
Okay. I'm convinced. I saw Dante and I were in the theater. We looked at that. And we're just like, oh, I'm in.
Yeah. That's a horror movie, and I will see that horror movie.
Yeah. Yeah. So there you go. All right. Back to your comments here. I have a few friends in the WJA. They are so unhappy, says Sons and Shadows. Not the Batman. Whenever someone says I identify as, I reply as, you should identify as boring. S. Clark, 95 IQ writers can't write characters with 140 IQ. Laura Buckles, it feels like so many writers have zero life experience outside of liberal colleges.
That's right. That's it right there.
Wow. That is the comment of the day.
Yeah.
So many writers have zero life experience outside of liberal colleges. Laura Buckles, you should tweet that. Just add to the conversation. Mediocrity. Triple Threat 305 says mediocrity is the new standard, and that's not just the entertainment industry. You are correct. that's in the service industry, that's in just a lot of things right now.
It's behind the cockpit of your plane.
Yeah. Oh my God. There've been some stuff coming out about Delta Airlines where I'm like, I'm not flying. I fly American Airlines for the most part. I'm not like I love them. It's just like, what am I supposed to do? The Introspect M, want to spot a bad writer? Ask them what they read. Oh, that's a great one. Anna, that Star Wars girl who I love, she is platonic. Look, she's a friend. Love Anna. She does this thing. She's such a great troll. You should never mess with Anna or Brittany.
Don't get on her bad side.
Never get. I saw John Roca got on Anna's bad side. I'm like, oh, this isn't going to go well for John. This isn't going to go because Anna will dig. Anna will not let go. Anna
actually tweeted her or something like.
Yeah. No, but like Anna, just like, oh, she is a pit bull. Never mess with her. But that's why I love her. I respect her. She says to people, she'll say, name 5 books you've read. Name 5 books you've read. And you don't get a lot from a lot of, you don't get that answers a lot of questions. From Rumble, Lord Shax, movies used to have an original moment on screen that captured you. Writers now base their stories on other movies, on either other movies or what they see as a social topic that needs to be addressed. Yeah, what it does is it absolves them of coming up with original ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Because
also, I think in their mind, they think they can fix that old movie.
Yeah. Brock Samsonite, DEI equals delete everything intelligent. Want Biscuits. Absolutely true, Alan. Hollywood is a vortex system that controls you from A to Z. And there, we're going to leave it there. And okay, I got to how am I? Okay. All right.
What?
There you go. All right, we're going to leave it there, folks. We will be back next week. With reviews, coverage, all the stuff that we do. Oh, we're going to be talking about Sundance. We're going to get a preview of the Sundance and Slamdance film festivals next Wednesday. And of course, we'll review all the films opening in theaters next Friday as well. So join us on Hollywood on the Rocks on Wednesday and Film Threat Livecast on Friday. Alan, anything coming up this weekend?
Yeah, I'll be at the National Comedy Theater tomorrow, 7:30 in San Diego. Also, we don't normally interview hair, makeup, and costuming people, but I'll be interviewing the hair, makeup, and costume people behind the Iron Claw. So that will be exciting. And and then on Saturday night at 4 o'clock Eastern or Pacific, whatever. Critics' Choice Awards. You and I will be in.
That's Sunday.
On Sunday.
Sunday.
Yes, did I say Sunday? No,
you said Saturday.
Okay, Sunday night. CW Critics' Choice Awards. You and I will be there.
Yes. So Alan and I are part of an organization called the Critics' Choice Awards. That's the CCA. We will be attending the awards. So you might actually see us in the crowd. We're going to try and sit at the same table together. We should try to arrive together so we can try and get seats together if it's possible. But the CCA is an organization that does an award show in early January. It kind of sets the tone. A lot of the winners from the CCA end up becoming the winners of the Oscars. So it's considered to be an influential organization. And Alan and I are part of it. And it's how we get to see some movies early and get some access. But I will say that pretty much Alan and I are kind of hated at the organization. Is that? Yeah, a lot of people don't like us, or a lot of people will come up to us and confront us. You said this thing on Twitter, or like someone came up to me and was just like, you probably don't like me, but I'm like, why? We just started talking.
I was like, I don't know who you are.
Also, I think people don't come preloaded with, I come with like, oh, we all have different opinions, but we get along. But like, apparently the memo that a lot of other people get are like, because my opinion doesn't align with yours, you and I will not get along. That's very, to me, un-American, but whatever.
Yeah. I mean, look, the last interaction we had there, someone came up and basically criticized the fact that I think it was Barbie. We didn't like Barbie or the Marvels or something like that. And they had to tell us that. But what wound up happening is we began talking about all the movies we both liked. And it seemed like there are movies that everyone seemed to have liked and had a good time chatting about. And that somehow this one movie of Barbie is the divider, the one that will never make us friends.
Yeah, it's a little disconcerting. It's a weird elitist attitude or a weird narcissism that you must like align 100%, 100% with everyone in order. Like we just don't know. That's not. I don't like that. I do not like that. We're gonna end the show with one last thing. It's a treat. So we're going a little long today. My apologies. Even though our interview subject took off. Echo is a huge hit. How do I know? Because Disney released a video. We're going to see the moment that the actress from Echo was cast. Are you ready to see it? This is a little promo video that was put out by Disney declaring Echo a huge hit. I'm going to share it with you. It's about a 1-ish minute video, and we're going to check it out. It's playing on Disney Plus and Hulu. Here, I'm going to mute myself. We're just going to watch this real quick. Alan, are you ready?
Yes.
This is September 2020. Do you remember that? Here we go.
Oh, those were dark times. Yeah.
Alako, we have something we want to tell you. All right, everybody. 1, 2, 3. Camera set. Ready. Action.
Alako, man. Like, you could tell she just got it.
Alako is a star. She really shows everybody why she is Echo.
A sound that would evoke like a Native American, like, is that, did you hear that?
No. What?
Sort of under there. All right. Alakwa Cox. So here we go. I actually, to be honest, I actually like her. I think she's fine. Here we go. Continuing.
Alakwa's amazing. She has this calm, intense quality about her.
We all took ASL lessons, and I think that was able to create more of a dialogue and a little bit more of a connection.
This is the creators and the crew behind the scenes, Total Virtual Signal.
I like how she says we all learned ASL sign language.
Oh my God.
I guess that's how you say that.
Here we go. All right, Alan, what are your thoughts?
Yeah. Oh, well, I take everything back. I was right. She's amazing. So therefore you need to watch this.
She is amazing. So there you go.
Yeah. Sorry. I was wrong.
I don't know. I don't have a problem with the actress at all. I just think that, and I think that there's a theory that like part of why they created this character is they can just put Echo in a show and you check all the boxes just by having her presence. And so there you go.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing that you never see in any of these things. What's the story? You know, what draws us to this character? What experience does this character go through that we would relate to?
Yeah.
No, she's deaf. She has one leg. I mean, they didn't amputate the leg, right? She had a loss beforehand.
Yeah, they amputated her leg to be in the show, Alan.
Yeah. So I mean, it's yeah. I mean, again, story doesn't matter. It's who appears on the screen.
Absolutely. Right here, the nerd far away says Chris nails it all the time until I don't, and then people tell me. And people look. I'm okay with things existing that I don't like. It doesn't matter to me. I'm just letting you know to avoid it. I can tell you
how to make it better, or maybe the next time you do this, maybe consider doing this. Maybe consider your audience.
Yeah, it's so like, look, I'm just saying, propaganda is not going to work on me because I see that it's propaganda. And that's all I'll say about that. And we're going to end it there. I just wanted to get another video in for Echo. Because we need his...
Because they need it. They need it.
What do you mean that? Yeah, well, yeah, we're trying to...
Someone's got to watch it. Come on.
Someone's got to watch it. But I do want to say thank you to our mods, Ms. P. Coffee, Glenn Brown, our producer, and the Chicago Box and Latino Slant. Big shout out to Paulie from Latino Slant. Go to thelatinoslant.com. Subscribe to his newsletter. Check out his website. And check out filmthreat.com also. All the good. I like expanding, from a YouTube channel into a website. We were sort of a website first and then a YouTube channel. Either way. Alan, you have that coming up. We will be at the CCA Critics' Choice Awards this Sunday. Watch it on the CW or don't. Alan and I will probably tweet out some pictures of us on the red carpet. And that's what I've got coming up. Also, on Saturday night, there's a gathering of all the critics. I'm going to go there because I'm just
going or
yeah. And I have tickets to see. If anyone else is seeing this, say hi. I'm going to the Kodak Theater to see the 1989 Batman with a live orchestra. Cannot wait. So I'm doing that Saturday night.
Is Christopher Nolan going to be there too?
No.
Oh, he's in town.
Not be there.
He's in town.
There you go. All right. That wraps it up for us today. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll be back next week with Hollywood on the Rocks. Alan?
Let's get out of here.